Hello guys, it's Steve again. Today I'm going to help you with matrix, and for those who did not check our last video, our previous video was about indices. You can go back and check after this. So I'm going to take you through matrix, but first you have to know what is a matrix. So a matrix is a rectangular or a square arrangement of a number or a letter. As you can see, we have our examples. A is our matrix, which is AB. It's kinda rectangular in arrangement, and then we have matrix B, which is 2 1, which is also a rectangular arrangement of numbers, and then C, which is A 0.5 2, and X, which is a square arrangement of number to give us matrix C. So you can see A is a matrix of letters, AB, and B is a matrix of number, and C, as you can see, is a matrix of combination of numbers and letter. So a matrix can be made up of a number or letters, but there must be in a rectangular or a square arrangement. Okay, before we move on, you have to know that each number or letter in a matrix is called an element. So for our case, for example, A, we have two elements. And why? Because we have A and B. So A is an element by itself and B is an element by itself. Same applies to B. To B, we have two elements. A2 is an element by itself and 1 is an element. And matrix C, we have how many elements? We have 4 elements. So A is an element, 0.5 is an element, 2 is an element, and X is an element. So up to there, at least you have an idea what's a matrix, and this video is going to rotate in those rectangular and square arrangement of these numbers, and we're going to do addition and subtraction of these matrices. So we are going to start with addition of matrix. We are going to start on addition of matrices. For example, when given a matrix like 2, 4, 3, 2, this is matrix A, and then you have matrix B, which is negative 1, 2, 3, 2. So this is our matrix. So when you're doing addition of matrix, element 2 in matrix A corresponds to element negative 1 in matrix B. So we're going to add those elements that corresponds to each other. So our next step, it will be 2 plus, so this here is plus, 2 plus negative 1, and then 4 plus 2. And then down here we're going to have 3 plus what? 3. And then 2 plus 2. So it is 2 plus 2. Our next step, it will be computing this sum, which is 2 plus negative 1, which is 1. 4 plus 2, we get 6. And then 3 plus 3, we're going to get what? 6. And then 2 plus 2, we're going to get 4. So that marks the end of our addition of matrix. But we're going to do another example of addition of matrix. So our next matrix is 3 by 3 matrix. So we are going to do the addition the way we did 2 by 3 matrix. So the addition here, it will be 1 plus 1. So it's 1 plus 1. The next is negative 2 plus 0, negative 2 plus 0. And then the other one is 4 plus 2. So it's 4 plus 2. The next step is 3 plus 0, so it's 3 plus 0. And then this 3 plus this 0, so it's 3 plus 0. And then this 4 plus 1 to be 4 plus 1. And then the other part, the last part, is 2 plus 2, it will be 2 plus 2. And then 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1. And then 0 plus 0, it will be 0 plus 0. So our final answer, we're going to compute this and give our answer will be in form of 3 by 3 matrix. So 1 plus 1, you get what? 2. Negative 2 plus 0, we're going to get what? Negative 2. 4 plus 2, you're going to get what? 6. 3 plus 0, you're going to get what? 3. 3 plus 0, again it's what? 3. 4 plus 1, you're going to get 5. 2 plus 2, you're going to get what? Let me create some more space here for you. 2 plus 2, you're going to get 4. And then 1 plus 1, you're going to get 2. And then 0 plus 0, you're going to get 0. So that marks our answer. So you can check from above, from here, the step we've taken. The first one is adding each element that corresponds to the element of the other matrix, and then the last step is computing those elements and then getting your answer. So you're going to move to our next step. We're going to start on subtraction of matrix. We have, let me say, matrix X and matrix Y. Matrix X is equals to 2, 4, and matrix B is equals to negative 2, 1. So the question is find X minus Y. So here we're going to, this 2 corresponds to negative 2 in the matrix Y. So you're going to write our matrix here. So it will be 2 minus negative 2, and then downward you're going to get 4 minus what? 4 minus 1. So it will be 4 minus 1. So our answer will be 2 minus 2, you're going to get what? 4. And then 4 minus 1, you're going to get 3. So that is a 1 by 1 matrix. We're going to move to another example of 2 by 2 matrix. Another example of 2 by 2 matrix. Under subtraction, we have A matrix, matrix A, and then matrix B. So A is equals to 1, 2, and then 0, 3. We're going to subtract this matrix B, which is equals to 0, 1, 3, 1. So you can pause the video and do the calculation by yourself, and then you're going to do it together. So after posting the video and doing it, now we're going to show you how you are supposed to do to see if you are correct. So we take element 1 that corresponds to element 0, we subtract them, so it's 1 minus 0, and then 2 corresponds to 1, so it will be 2 minus 1, and then 0 corresponds to 3, so it's 0 minus 3, and then 3 corresponds to 1, so it will be 3 minus 1. So up to there, you're going to compute it, which is 1 minus 0, you're going to get what? 1. 2 minus 1, you're going to get what? 1. And then 0 minus 3, you're going to get what? Negative 3. And then 3 minus 1, you're going to get 2. So that is subtraction of matrices of 2 by 2. So you can pause the video and then check from here the step you've made, computing the element and then adding them, subtracting them to get the final answer. So we're going to move to our last example of 3 by 3 matrix, subtraction of 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, we are going to start with subtraction of our last matrix, which is a 3 by 3 matrix, A subtracted to B. So the first step, element 0 corresponds to 1, so it's 0 subtracted to 1, and then 4 subtracted to 2, so it's 4 subtracted to 2, and then 2 subtracted to 0, and then 1 subtracted to 3, and then 3 you subtract 1, and then 8 you subtract what? 0, and then 2 you subtract 4, and then 0 you subtract what? 2, and then 1 you subtract 1. So for our final answer it will be 0 minus 1, we get what? Minus 1. And then 4 minus 2, you're going to get what? 2. And then 2 minus 0, our answer is 2. The next step is 1 minus 3, you're going to get minus 2. 3 minus 1, you're going to get 2. And then 8 subtract 0, you're going to get 8. And then 2 subtract 4, you're going to get negative 2. And then 0 subtract to 2, you're going to get negative 2. And then 1 subtract 1, you're going to get 0. So you can pause the video and then follow the procedure from the top slowly, so that the concept may sink. And that marks the end of our addition and subtraction of matrices. If you like the video, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and give your views and comments and suggestion on the topics that are hard for you and you might want me to go through them.